Well, I mean, the big, in addition to that, is they're living in it. They're living in it, and instead paying $3,000 in rent for a $600,000 house, they're paying $3,000 something for living in that investment, right? And so I think that's probably a good question too, because a lot of people that are scared right now, especially the housing crisis, because a lot of people they're going into multiple homes and they lived through the housing crisis, seeing where home prices are at. I mean, one of the first questions now they go, hey, I know interest rates are historic low. Before it was like, hey, we're at like around that range. Now it's like, we've never seen interest rates this low before, ever. And so the combination of that and home prices, is it still a good time to buy when we see home prices still going up? And we thought we were going to probably see like a leveling out, maybe a slight retraction. I mean, how are you answering those types of questions, your clients?
Well, it's a great point you mentioned. When you buy a home, initially, like the first year that you're buying a home, your cash flow is not going to be as good as when you're renting. Obviously, you have a little bit of higher monthly expenses. You haven't get any of that appreciation yet, and you have not received your tax benefits before you file your taxes or go through that whole 9 yards with your employer and everything else. So at the beginning, you're going to be cash flow negative, like $5,000-$6,000 on the numbers that I did for a $600,000 purchase price. You're going to be like $6,500, $6,600 negative the first year. But as that appreciation happens, you're going to be like now $300,000 return on your investment, which is 500% return on your $60,000. Versus if you put that money in a stock market and let's say get 7.5% return, which is a pretty good average for a stock market, your $60,000 is going to be, it's going to grow, but to $110,000. So there is a big gap there that's worth the investment. But the key point is how long you're going to stay in this property. If you're buying to sell in a year or two, this math doesn't work for you. The expenses is gonna outgrow your return, and it doesn't make sense unless you're a professional, like a construction company or flipping or all of that. That's a different story. But if you're just an average homeowner out there, if your target is less than 5 years, you want to make sure really numbers work, not just because that you have such a great interest rates out there. It's not the only time to buy just because you have great interest rates. It's that home should really suit your need.
Yeah, so some people, I think, I say this in 5 years. I say it too. We don't talk about this, but if you're looking to own less than 5 years and you're concerned about values, this is not the market, especially because we're on the higher side. Even though you are getting low rate, it might make sense. Now, if you're buying to only live in it for 5 years, but you have a strategy to maybe rent out after the 5 years and can save as you're paralleling living in the house, then that's a totally different strategy we could talk about, right? So yeah, we're with that too. Is that 5 year time frame based on today's market is important to note.